Okay, I can hear it.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Matthew Colberg, file number 23-00192. Council Simmons.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Good morning. Michael Anderson on behalf of Mr. Matthew Colberg, who does appear to be.
Okay, today was the date and time that was scheduled for a trial, I believe, a jury trial. I have a notation here that there's a plea offer. What is the offer?
Your Honor, the offer would be, I believe it'll be a no contest plea to the charge of allowing a person to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code.
And what is the purpose of the contest?
I believe it was memory, Your Honor.
That's correct. I can certainly get into that if you would like.
Absolutely, when this case has been, I think, hotly contested for a while.
Sure.
I want to understand how we all of a sudden have them.
Sure, Your Honor. In terms of memory, a good portion of the defendant's defense in this matter would have been that he was undergoing a seizure at the time of this incident. One of those unfortunate side effects of seizures does include.
So the factual basis would bring about that he was undergoing a seizure. He recalls undergoing a seizure, or he came to later and there was a seizure. I'm not following.
Sure, Your Honor, the factual basis would be contained within the incident report in the section I highlighted as to the reason for the no contest plea involving memory. The basis of that is that he was undergoing a seizure, in our opinion, at the time of the incident.
This answers my question. So he doesn't recall. It says in the report, it was not highlighted. Last he knew, he was on his way somewhere and woke up. Okay, that was my question. Oh,
Your Honor, one more thing. There is a Killebrew agreement to no upfront jail as well as part of the offer.
we don't put people in jail for city ordinance violations. They don't hold them there. Nonetheless, Mr. Colberg, did you hear the offer that was extended?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you complete a plea sheet?
Not, Your Honor, but I'm not seeing one here. Rights of rights.
We provide him with a plea sheet, please. Was allowing
Person to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code.
I'm gonna need the code that you.
Yes, I do have that. It is MCL 257.326.
Okay, Mr. Colbert, that's what you want to do. You want to enter a no contest plea to allowing a person to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the maximum penalty?
90 days, Your Honor.
It's just 90 days, or it was,
9,500.
thank you. 90 and or $500 in fines is the maximum penalty. Do you understand that?
What was the fine?
It's 90 days in jail or 500 and or $500 in fines is the maximum penalty.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Colberg, I do have an advice of rights and the information sheet. It's dated for February 25th, and there's a signature at the bottom. Do you recall signing that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, did you read over those rights before you signed this document?
I did, ma'am.
And you understand each of the rights that are listed there?
I do.
And are you willing to give up those rights today in order to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, I am.
So you understand that you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you have the right to be innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the city prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to have a jury trial, and you have the right to be silent at that jury trial. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses that the city intends to call against you. You have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed on your own behalf to testify or to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. You understand each of those rights, and those are the rights that you wish to give up today?
I understand, ma'am.
And those are the rights that you wish to give up?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive those rights today?
No, they are not.
Any promises being made in exchange for a waiver of those rights?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you don't recall this incident, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, as to the amended charge of allowing a person to operate in violation of motor vehicle code, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
I have a police report from the Lansing Police Department from July 7th, 2022 at approximately 6:50 p.m. She was dispatched to the area of MLK at or near I-95, city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. Officers made contact with the witness, a Jacob Giles, who testified or stated that he was driving eastbound on I-96 freeway. Jacob said or stated he saw multiple vehicles swerve in front of him to avoid a black SUV. Jacob stated that the black SUV, later found driven by Matthew Colbert, was driving westbound on I-96 freeway. Jacob stated Matthew drove his vehicle through the median onto the eastbound lane and continued driving westbound and passing the lane of eastbound lane of I-96 freeway. Jacob stated Matthew then drove his vehicle back into the median. Jacob stated Matthew then drove his vehicle in between the east and westbound overpass and fell onto South Martin Luther King Boulevard. Mr. Colbert gave a statement to the officers indicating last he knew he was on his way to Muskegon to his sister's home to drop things off for a garage sale. He states he then woke up in the embankment on the side of King Boulevard. Any further factual basis?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
If the court is satisfied with the factual basis, I find the reason for the no contest plea to be appropriate. I will accept your no contest plea. Provided to be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently given. You can make allocution.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Colberg. The most important thing for you to know about Mr. Colberg is one, he is employed. Two, he's been an outstanding member of this community for his entire life. During this incident, it's our belief, based upon his follow-up medical treatment, that Mr. Colberg was experiencing a seizure. Since that time, he has been placed on seizure medication, has been getting treatment through MSU neurology consistently. And as this court may be aware, Mr. Colberg also has been going through some further serious medical issues where he was out of state in a hospital for approximately, I believe it was 3 weeks. This is not an incident that will happen again. He has been dealing with his medical issues. I would also note that there was a civil matter that was attached to this incident. That matter has since settled for approximately $500,000. In that view, I don't believe restitution is appropriate, as there would be a massive offset in any proposed restitution. Given the fact that he has been dealing with his medical issues, has not driven, will not drive until he has received confirmation from the Michigan Secretary of State that he is safe to do so. I would be asking that this court issue fines and costs.
Thank you. And does your client want to make a statement at all?
Mr. Colberg, is there anything you would like to say to the court?
Nothing further, thank you.
It's $300. When can you make payment?
Today.
Okay, you can make payment on the court website using your case number. Just give us at least the next 20 minutes because they have to enter a disposition into the system, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any additional matters for the record?
Your Honor, there were victims in this case. I know we've proceeded to immediate sentencing, but if the court would allow, I would like them to be able to at least provide information on restitution. Whether or not that would be offset would be a matter for probation or this court to decide, but there were victims in this matter.
Okay, where are your victims?
They're not present today.
Or will they not be present today?
I expected this to be set for a sentencing because there were victims, and that generally goes through probation for restitution.
That's it only goes to probation. If there was a referral to probation, I would not refer them to probation for something like this. It was a medical situation. This is not a situation where he was driving under the influence.
Okay.
So I don't see how further court resources or oversight are necessary. And I should have been advised that there were some victims that the victim should have been here because it was set for a trial today on my docket. So I didn't call up any victims.
Okay.
And so should your victims want to appear via Zoom and give a statement, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to step out and do that. Okay, we're off the record, Mr. Colberg, so the city can see if their victims can appear. Okay, let's see. Mr. Brown, which matter are you here on?
Your Honor, I'm present on Grace Rowley. I have been discussing it with Mr. Venker. I've been trying to reach him over the last day and haven't heard as to whether he is, I think we're moving forward with a plea today. I'm not entirely sure.
If you try to reach Mr. Vinker on a Sunday, you could be in trouble because they're not gonna respond.
I did reach out to him on Friday. I'm sorry. I think
Oh.
Thursday and Friday.
Okay, yeah, we saw him on Friday. I'm assuming Mr. Staples is covering for him, but.
Okay.
He's here? He's in the breakout room with Mr. Lee. Oh, it looks like Mr. Vinker might be in the breakout room with Mr. Lee, so we'll see if you need to meet with him or if he can meet with you in just a moment.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Hi, back on the record, Mr. Staples. Were you able to get in contact with your victim?
I was, Your Honor. They should be logging in.
Mr. Vinker?
Yes, Judge.
Miss Garcia, Mr. Bruin needs to speak with you. Can I put her in room 1?
Sure.
Okay. What's your victim's name?
It is Christopher Case. Right.
Sure, maybe that's.
Yep, Brianna, that's his
Okay,
wife.
Sounds good. I see a Brianna's iPhone, and then there's a gentleman. You said the gentleman is the victim?
Both are, Your Honor.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Brianna Nicole Case.
Christopher David Case.
Okay, and so we are proceeding or proceeded with a plea today, a no contest plea. on the matter that you were, my understanding, victims on. And so we wanted to give you an opportunity to give a statement to the court.
Thank you.
You can do so at this time.
I don't even know what to say other than I have lost all movement of my right arm. When the car came down on top of us, it pulled 3 nerves from my spinal cord. And I also have a bladder controlling issue now, from the seatbelt. I can no longer control my bladder. And this has really affected us. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
So my statement would be this accident happened one day before our wedding anniversary. So it made what was to be a special day for us into what is seeming to be a lifelong a lifelong relearning how to live with certain things. It's a very different life now. I appreciate the court giving us time to make a statement. I don't know how these proceedings go, so this is new to me.
Well, typically you would have received something or should have received something from the prosecuting attorney's office. In this case, it's the city attorney's office, allowing you the opportunity to write an impact statement. So they would understand how this situation impacted you. Not sure if you've done that. And then when there's a victim, you have the right to appear in court and to give your statement and then share about any damages or maybe restitution, which if there was restitution, I would have imagined that should have been shared with the city attorney's office prior to date. My understanding is there was a civil case that was from this as well, though, correct?
There was a civil case from this.
Okay, you were the parties in the civil case?
Yes.
Okay, and then you received recovery for this accident?
We did.
Okay.
I
don't know how there would be restitution then.
There was money that was taken out of our settlement as a lien from Blue Cross Blue Shield in the amount of $67,000 from payments that they made because of the accident, and it got taken right out of our settlement that we had agreed upon.
That's on the normal course of business when it comes to a settlement from insurance or a personal injury settlement. Your attorney would also take a cut. That's normal. But restitution would mean that there was something that was owed to you from damage as a result of this accident. But because you had a civil matter, that civil suit, the purpose of the civil matter is to make you whole on that matter for any financial. And it looks like you guys had some other damages, physical damages. So I'm assuming that was recouped or addressed by way of the civil matter. What the civil matter can't do, of course, is take away from any trauma or any long-term pain and suffering that you're dealing with as a result of this circumstance. What I have before the court is a situation that, and my understanding is he had a medical emergency while driving. And I don't even have any information.
We can't hear you.
I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Can everybody else hear me? Okay, everyone else can hear me on the Zoom, so it might be your device.
Okay,
Are you able to
I can
adjust
hear
the
you a little
volume at
bit.
all? Are you able to turn your volume up?
No.
Okay, and then I need Mr. Kohlberg also to start his video. Okay, thank you. Okay, so again, what a civil suit would not be able to do, and even a criminal matter, wouldn't be able to address any, again, long-term pain that and suffering that you're dealing with, and you discuss some of those effects, and it's unfortunate to hear that because I don't know how much of the incident that took place back on July 7th was something that could have been avoided. I know there was some mentioning of having a pre-existing medical issue, but I don't know if that pre-existing medical issue was one that involved the nature of seizures or causing a blackout. I don't know that. I do know that individuals that have that are diabetic have responsibility to make sure that they're driving when their glucose levels are safe, and that they have to test those glucose levels before they get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That I do understand, but I don't have information before this court as a part of this case that caused me to believe that that was something that did not take place. And so I'm happy to hear that there was a civil matter that did resolve and give you the finances you needed to recoup the loss to the extent that a civil suit can do that. And as it relates to this type of case, this is not a type of case that the court would order oversight, meaning placing him on a term of probation for. If there was some other factors that the court believed was necessary, meaning I had information that he was negligent in making sure he was driving when his blood was safe to do so, or maybe he had ingested something that caused or triggered the seizure or a low blood sugar, that'd be something different. I don't have that. All I have is that there was a blackout and a medical emergency that he was later or is now currently getting some treatment for. I think the best course of action that he's having here now is that he needs to be getting medical treatment, and that's not something that the court needs to supervise. So with that being stated, the court has ordered a sentence of fines and costs, but we're happy that you were able to join today and share with the court how you felt about this situation. And I'm sure Mr. Kohlberg, having been a part of a civil matter, is already aware of the damage and the impact that this situation has caused to your life and the life of your husband. So again, my condolences to you, and hopefully you have a better road of recovery ahead, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. Kohlberg and Mr. and Mrs. Case.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Zaney, did you need to speak with the city attorney at all?
Your Honor, no, I don't think so. I did communicate with him briefly beforehand, sent him some additional documents, and I think he needs time to review those documents so we can further discuss negotiations on this case. So I would ask respectfully. My bad.
Yep, no, you're worried. You need a new date, we'll get you a new date.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do we need to go on the record?
We do not. Mr. Lee, who did you have?
I have Mr. Marshall White, Your Honor.
Okay. Does March 25th at 10 a.m. work for you, Mr. Zaney?
I believe so, Your Honor. That sounds lovely. I'm hoping there's sunshine and summer suits. You know, I got that, so I'll be there.
It's Addie, but.
Oh, hey, Addie. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was looking at myself. I was looking at myself because, you know, Lord needs to strike me. I'm sorry, Addie. I was just texting you as well. So thank you. Yeah, that works very well. Thank you, Addie.
No problem.
All right, have a blessed one. You just send out notice.
Yes, I will.
All right, thanks, guys. Everybody have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye.
You can be seated. On the record, in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Grace Raleigh, file number 23-03754, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tiffany DeBruin appearing on behalf of Grace Rowley. Both of us are appearing via Zoom and would waive in-person appearance.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was set for a pre-trial and operating while intoxicated. How are we proceeding on this?
At this time, the city has been in receipt of a substantial amount of records relating to what Ms. Rowley has done since the incident, and is willing to amend the charge to operating while intoxicated, or with a BAC above 0.08, so simple OWI. And it's my understanding that to the amended charge, Ms. Rowley would be entering a plea of no contest. I will let Attorney DeBruin speak to the merits of that. I will just note to the court, I have no objection under the circumstances.
That is correct, Your Honor. I've spoken to my client. She has very little to no recollection of this incident, and that is a basis for no contest plea. We have submitted a copy of the police report with highlighted information for the court's review. If the court would be so inclined to move forward to sentencing, we did also submit a MAD victim impact panel completion, alcohol highway safety completion, substance abuse assessment letter from counselor, and advice of rights.
Okay. The offer is a OWI first offense or simple OWI. And Ms. Rowley, you want to plead no contest, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. I do have an advice of rights and a plea information sheet. It was dated for today, February 26th. There's a signature on the bottom. It says Grace Rowley. Do you recall signing that document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read over this document before you signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand each of the rights that are listed there?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're willing to give up all of those rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have the right to the presumption of innocence. Do you understand that you are innocent until proven guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have the right to require the city prove your guilt. They do that at a trial. They prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt before you're considered to be guilty of the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the city intends to call at your trial. And you have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your own behalf or present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you want to give up each of those rights? Is anybody threatening you to do that?
No, Your Honor.
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for you giving up those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that if a no contest plea is entered sustaining your guilt in this matter, that this could be a conviction that you may need to report to your current employer.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also may need to report this conviction to your future employer. You understand that? So you might need to put it on a job application.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're also, this can, if convicted, this could have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't recall this incident? Is that because of intoxication or something else?
Intoxication, Your Honor.
As to the charge of operating while intoxicated or with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
I have a police report from the Lansing Police Department, incident occurring August 26, 2023 at 3:45 in the morning. The area of East Michigan Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan. Officers were dispatched to an accident at the intersection of East Michigan and LaSalle. Officers observed a white car on its left side and a female sitting on the ground, rocking back and forth. Officers approached the female and asked her name. She indicated it was Grace Rowley, and she was visibly upset and crying. She admitted to being at a bar and driving home. Rowley also said she was intoxicated, but was doing the speed limit. Officers read Rowley her chemical test rights verbatim from the DI 177 form. Rowley consented to a blood draw. Blood was drawn at the Michigan State Police Department for Forensic Science Division. Blood alcohol content coming back at a 0.238 grams alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. Any additional factual basis from the city?
No, Judge.
Do you satisfied with the factual basis, Mr. Bruin?
I am, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea, and I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing in person at the court. April 22nd work for you, Mr. Bruin, at 9 a.m.
I'm checking my calendar right now, Judge. Yes.
Okay, and I understand that she's already undergone a substance abuse assessment that should be provided to our probation department so that she won't have to undergo a new one. And then Ms. Rowley, you need to report to our probation department no later than 9:30 this week, Wednesday, in person, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and they'll get you all set up for your pre-sentence investigation. Do you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
None for the city, thank you.
Not for the defense, Your Honor.
You're all set for today, thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Who's representing Marshall White?
I can run it, John.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Marshall Irwin White, file number 23-03678, counsel appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Marshall White.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was scheduled for a jury trial. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Mr. White has been offered and accepts a plea to civil infraction of disturbing the peace.
Okay, Mr. White, you accept responsibility for that? You're muted.
I accept the agreement.
The fine is $130. When can you make payment?
Can you give me till Friday?
Okay, you can make payment online at the court website, or you can mail a check or money order to the court using your case number, okay?
Absolutely.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, not at all.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. White. Agustin Gino Garcia.
I have not.
What about Alexander Marion? Is that the one that was reset?
Yes,
I
I
could be
believe so.
wrong. Is Mr. Carter on that?
No, that was Fanny Jones.
No,
Who's
that was
on
all.
Mr.?
The-
Why was this reset?
We were resetting, Your Honor, because Mr. Marion has several other charges that have been that are waiting arraignment. So what we were thinking is that get him arraigned and get a global solution on all the charges.
Okay, it needs to be set for pretrial, not jury trial. You can't use jury trial slots to keep negotiating at a pretrial level. That's why we have pretrial. March 25th at 10:30. March 25th at 10:30. Where is Mr. Marion Alexander? Where is he?
I have not seen him this morning.
Oh, why haven't we seen him? Oh,
That is not something that I have.
got it. You have been in contact with him?
I had contact with him last week, I believe, and anticipated him.
Okay, in that case, it's gonna bench warrant. I have to find out why he's not coming to court until we reset his matter.
Yeah, the only information I have on Mr. Marion is that he's not currently listed as being incarcerated.
Okay. Then Bobby McConaughey, you seen him?
No, I have not seen Mr. McConaughey.
Have you had contact with him?
No, I have not. That his phone is connected.
Gino Garcia?
They gave him your son.
Gino Garcia was? He's arraigned on what? They arraigned him and released him already? Oh. It's failed to appear.
You just had Gino Garcia Zoom in for some year with it
What time did they send that? You know,
at 8:47 hour. I give him this one my
fault. I have disobeyed traffic and the driving on license is a big warrant. And you said you hadn't heard from Mr. McConaughey.
No, I have not.
Brian Rankin here.
No, he is not, you know.
Brian Rankin is a female. See now the file for Rankin. See file number AN 131. Should be a, I need file number AN 132 for Rankin. That should be a default. Okay, who do you have, Mr. Lee?
I have Mr. Dudas, Mr. Willie James, Mr. Nicholas Reed, and Ms. Hattie has just joined us.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Paul William Dudas, file number 21-02686. Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Paul Dudas, who is in the courtroom and standing to my right.
How are you, Mr. Dudas?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Judge?
I'm well, thank you. Okay, we adjourn this matter for a additional pretrial because there was, I guess, some ongoing negotiations. I don't think there was an offer extended, so how are we proceeding?
There has not been an offer extended. You're correct, Your Honor. Mr. Dudas is prepared to plead guilty as charged.
Did you do an advice of rights?
Should you approach him?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Dudas, you're being charged in this matter with driving while license is suspended to misdemeanor, maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. You want to plead guilty to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? I have an advice of rights and plea information sheet. The second page has a signature. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Would you read this document before you sign that?
Yes.
You understand all the rights listed there?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have the right to the presumption of innocence? So that means you're innocent until the city proves you're guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have the right to require them prove your guilt at a jury trial, and you have the right to remain silent at that trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the city calls against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. You understand all those rights?
Yes.
Anybody threatening you to get you to give them up?
No.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for you pleading guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
As to the charge of driving while license suspended, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Dudas, on or about September 24th, 2021, were you driving in a vehicle upon South Cedar Road at or near Hunter Boulevard?
Yes.
And that's in the city of Lansing, county of Ingham, state of Michigan, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you were driving without a license, right?
Yes.
Because your license had been suspended,
Yes.
and you were aware of that suspension. No further questions.
Any questions from the city?
No, thank you.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. And address the court before sentencing.
Your Honor, Mr. Dudas has been suffering from seizures and has been working hard to work with his physicians to get his condition in such a state that he can get his license restored. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process for him. But he knows he made a mistake. He knows he shouldn't have been driving when he was driving, which is why he pled today. He has expressed remorse to me for this decision and promises to never do that again.
The fine is $300. Can you make payment?
Today.
We'll get you over to the window and you'll be all set. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
None for the city.
It's on the Samsung device.
Hello,
Hi, what's your name?
Dylan Snover.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Willie James Jr., file number 23-02458, council appearance.
City appears by Greg Venker.
Public Defender John Lee, appearing on behalf of William James Jr., who was in the courtroom and standing to my.
Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, Your Honor. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Today was the date and the time that was scheduled for a pretrial and driving while license is suspended. How are we proceeding?
This time the city's actually moving to dismiss. Mr. James has a driver's license.
Motion to dismiss is granted. You're all set, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You have a blessed day.
Same to you. The record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Nicholas Tyler Reed, file number 22-02874, council appearance.
City appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee, appearing on behalf of Nicholas Reed, who is standing to my right.
Okay, how are you, Mr. Reed?
Well, how are you, Your Honor?
I'm well, thank you. Today was the date that was scheduled for pre-trial. I have one count of property damage. How are we proceeding?
Mr. Reed has been offered a trespassing plea and has decided to accept that offer.
That's correct, Mr. Venker?
Yes, the city was willing to amend to trespass. Part of that discussion, though, is that the defendant would agree to restitution in the amount of $381 for the damage alleged.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Restitution, yeah, I need a restitution form.
Okay.
And they said, what was the amount again?
$381.
Was it payable to?
I'm trying to get that document pulled up. One moment. Clay Sain, S-A-I-N.
Okay, so you want to plead guilty to the amended charge of trespass and pay restitution in the amount of $381?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Is that his advice of rights? So you understand that you have the right in this matter to the presumption of innocence?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the city prove your guilt at trial and at a jury trial by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at your jury trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness the city intends to call against you, and you have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed on your own behalf to testify and to present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You want to give up each of those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know if you want to give up those rights? Because you had to ask him.
Yes, I read the paper, sorry.
I know you read the paper, but is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, is anybody threatening you to get you to give up those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for you giving up rights today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your employer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, a conviction could also have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking. You understand that?
Yes, Your
As to the amended charge of trespassing, how do you plead?
Honor. Guilty.
You're pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Actual basis, please.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed, on or about March 24th, 2023, were you at 318 West Frederick in Lansing, Michigan?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's in the county of Ingham, state of Michigan, correct? And did you at that time propel or throw a bottle onto the property of the owner of that home, Clay Sane?
Yes.
No further questions.
Any questions from the city?
No.
They threw a bottle at Clay Sane?
Threw a bottle at the home, and just to clarify, and the bottle broke a window, correct?
Yes.
And that's the cause of the rest.
Okay, no dispute that the cost of the damage was $381. I can't hear you.
No.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis and I'll accept your plea. Find your plea be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. I'm gonna set this matter for sentencing so that Mr. Banker can see if the victim, for whatever reason, wants to give a statement. March 18th, March 18th at 9 will be the date and time for your sentencing. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, Your Honor.
You should come prepared with to pay your fines and costs. I don't know if attorneys have been telling people that. That's actually part of the court rule. You're supposed to come prepared to pay at the time of your sentencing, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record?
None for the city, thank you.
You're all set. Leah Hatting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the record, in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Leah Jocelyn Hatting, I have file numbers 24L2835232, 24L2835501, 24L2835231, and 5233. Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Leah Hattie.
Okay, I have a driving unregistered, a failure to display out, to speeding 1 to 5, and no insurance. Has there been a resolution on these?
I have spoke with the city attorney and we have come to some agreements, Your Honor. However, I would need to talk further with Ms. Hattie to find out if she has been able to actually get her registration and or license and insurance.
Okay, I'll give you an court date.
I apologize as well. I work thirds. I have been receiving your calls. It's been really hard juggling work and my kids working thirds. So I will try to get back to you as soon as I can with that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hattie.
March 25th. March 25th at 10:30. Any additional matters for the record?
Not for
Counsel?
me.
No.
Got
nothing for the
questions
city.
for the attorneys?
Oh, my
Nothing
apologies.
for the city.
Thank you. You're all set, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Same to you. Is it over the back? Is it, are they stapled together for some reason?
No, they're just.
How are they stapled? Yeah, that's the
That
problem.
makes sense.
That's message. Let's see. Dylan Shover. On record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Dylan Snover, file number 24-0024-254, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Dylan Snover.
Okay, Mr. Snover, today's the date that was set for pretrial. I have a driving while license not valid or improper license. How are we proceeding on this, council? Is there an offer?
Sorry, I'll go. I believe Mr. Snover has his valid driver's license now, and so the city's moving to dismiss.
Motion to dismiss is granted. You're all set, sir. Mr. Snover.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Jill put the, but there's no one in there, so I don't understand why they've been here for 20 minutes. Yeah, there's no one in there, though.
Yeah, are you using the report? Yeah, you know, wait. Sure. One, 30, 2, 4, 30, 7.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Craig. This is Matt Maloney.
Hey,
Got a pre-trial with you this morning. Rutledge, I'm hearing for White Law.
okay. Give me a second. I'll run up there, okay?
I can just give you my cell phone. You can call me if you want.
That works too.
517
Yep.
449 2100.
Alrighty. Call you in a minute.
All right. Sit. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Ms. Nash, would it be possible to get a moment with Mr. Noss?
Yes, just a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. You see Frank Cole?
By my emails with Mr. Lee, I think Mr. Cole's on Zoom.
You're on the
Oh,
record in
you
the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Frank Cole, file number 23-03501, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venter.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Frank Cole.
Okay, today was the date that we reset this medical pre-trial. Was there an offer on this?
We're working on that. An offer. We're in the discussion of that. I need to check with somebody that is not present about possibility of an offer and possible resolution.
Okay, so you need some more time to negotiate?
Yes, from the city's perspective, a week or two is sufficient. I just can't connect with that person right now.
March 25th at 10:30. March 25th at 10:30. Do you have any questions for the court today, sir?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for the court? Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, thank you.
Thank you. We'll get you your notice to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
Where am I? Jail.
Last email, I got something I'm working on.
Joseph Foreman. Interpreter for Junior. Oh, wow. Sorry. Okay, are you representing Mr. Knopf?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Kevin Curtis Noss, file number 17-00479, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venter.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Kevin Noss.
Okay, Mr. Noss, today was the date that was set for a pretrial on failure to pay income tax for counts. How are we proceeding on this, council?
Your Honor, the city attorney has offered Mr. Noss a plea bargain whereby he would accept responsibility. That is, he would pay for the tax year 2010 tax return filed in 2011. He would pay $333. All other charges, fines, and costs would be dismissed.
Council, please put the offer on the record, Mr. Vinker.
Well, I guess I should be more clear. Typically that gets paid up front, or once that's paid, I just dismiss the whole case. Because if I dismiss it now, I have no leverage to get him to pay that or ask the court to order that he pay it. So I apologize if that was not clear in our conversations, Mr. Lee.
Do you want me to set this out for a plea date? He can have an opportunity to pay.
That would be ideal if that works for him.
I can pay right now.
Pay today, so.
Okay, well, we'll let him pay today. It takes time for that to process and get sent to Treasury anyways. And then that information can get to Mr. Vinker, and then he could then make a nollie on this, because this one would require a nollie.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna give 30 days. If you're gonna pay today, it's probably still gonna take the 30 days for it to process.
That's accurate.
April 1st at 9:30.
April 1st at 9:30. Do you have any questions for the court today, Mr. Nas?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
Any addition? Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, thank you.
Nothing for the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're all set. We didn't get an interpreter here, I don't believe, on Mr. Juma. Not sure why. So we'll reset this.
March 25th at 10:30.
25th at 10:30. And then, let's see. Mr. Nas, you're all set for today. Are you representing Mr. Rutledge?
I am.
Okay, okay. How are we proceeding today?
I spoke to Mr. Venker and we just need to push it out for,
Can you use a new date so you get an assessment?
he's gonna get an assessment and do a couple of classes, yeah.
Okay.
So,
March 25th work for you at 10:30?
actually, I'll be on spring break, I'll be gone.
April 1st work? Go on spring break.
Nope,
Okay.
I'm just trying to think where, oh, yeah, what time were you setting it for?
April 1st at what time? At 9:30.
Okay, I might be a little late, I got a review in front of the circuit court judge over.
No problem.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Rutledge, you're all set. We'll see you at your next court date.
Thank you.
Already on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jaquan J. Shaw Foreman, found number 23L2808. I'm sorry, 4641. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Some public defender, John Lee, on behalf of law form.
Okay, Mr. Foreman, today was the date set for a pretrial. It's on a failure to display ops. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Mr. Foreman is prepared to plead guilty to this charge.
Okay, that's correct, Mr. Foreman. You want to plead guilty to the charge of failure to display ops?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Foreman, you have the right in this matter to proceed to a jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the city prove your guilt at trial by proving each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness the city intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. Do you understand all of those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're willing to give up all of those rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody threatening you to do that?
No, Your Honor.
Any promises being made in exchange for you giving up those rights? Any promises being made in exchange for you giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the promise?
What was that?
I asked you, did anybody make any promises to you to give up those rights?
Sorry about that. No, Your Honor. I misheard your question.
Okay, very good. As to the charge of failure to display an operator's license, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Factual basis. Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Foreman, on or about August 16th, 2023, were you driving upon East Edgewood at or near American Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's in the city of Lansing and the county of Ingham in the state of Michigan, correct?
Correct.
And when you were pulled over by the police, they asked you for your driver license, correct?
Correct.
And you did not have your driver license and failed to present your driver license to them, correct?
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the city?
None. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a valid driver's license?
Your Honor.
You said no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, the court satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Now, how long has he been in custody? Okay, I think he's being held without bond. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Credit your time served. You're all set. Are you representing Randy Baldwin or is he representing himself?
I just received an email on Baldwin. Apparently, the application has been resubmitted for the public defender's office. That just happened this morning. So I anticipate being appointed, but as of yet, has not happened.
Okay, he is logging in right now. Give me.
I was speaking in boiler room.
Sir in the jail, what's your name?
Joshua Day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Green, are we ready on your matter?
We're ready. Oh, wait, I guess probably maybe I need a breakout room with Mr. Vinker.
Okay, one moment. Mr. Vinker, you're in room 1. I can put him in your room.
Yes, thank you. This will be very brief.
Who's in the jail? The other room?
It's the last, should be.
You guys in San Francisco. Got it.
Okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Chaffee Holmes Jr., file number is 23-02193, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Good morning, Your Honor. Vince Green on behalf of the defendant, Chadwick Holmes, who's seated in my conference room to my right.
Okay, today is the date and the time that was set for a pre-trial on a high BAC. Let's see, how are we proceeding at this time?
Mr. Green has provided, and I've had a chance to review a number of documents, including substance abuse assessment. And at this time, the city is willing to amend to operating while intoxicated as a first offense, 0.08 or above. And it's my understanding that Mr. Holmes will plead guilty to that amended charge.
Is that correct, Mr. Green?
That's an accurate statement, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, you want to plead guilty to an amended charge of operating with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Okay, Mr. Holmes, you have the following rights, and these rights are the rights that you would need to give up in order to accept the offer and plead guilty. And first is the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to require the prosecution prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at that trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness being called against you by the city attorney's office. And then you have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf. And you also have the right to have evidence presented at your trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody making any promises to you to get you to give up those rights?
No. No, Your Honor.
Has there been any threats to you to get you to give up those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in the conviction that you may need to report to your employer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and a guilty plea could also result in a conviction that may have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking.
Yes, Your Honor.
As to operating with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, can I have a factual basis?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Holmes, I'm directing your attention to the date of January 14, 2023. Do you recall the date? Well, you had been driving, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, yes,
And prior to driving, did you have alcoholic beverage?
yes, I did.
Approximately how much did you have and what was it?
I had two Coke 45, 22 ounces.
So pretty big beers.
Yes.
Okay. And as a result of driving, you were in the city of limits of Lansing when you're driving, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're involved in an accident at or near 119 Cesar Chavez?
Yes.
That's in the city of Lansing, we indicated, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you're involved in an accident, correct?
Yes.
And at some point, when the police responded, they gave you a battery field sobriety test and ultimately blood was drawn, is that correct?
Yes.
And you and I've had a chance to look at the results, and the blood, which we, for plea purposes, agree that the lab results came back at a 0.264.
Yes.
And obviously that's higher than 0.08, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you are legally intoxicated.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Vinker, any questions?
No, thank you.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea, find it to be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made. The matter will be set for sentencing April 22nd at 9 a.m. Mr. Green, that date and time works for you?
Let's see, take a look. Yes, it does, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. And then you can provide a copy of his assessment and paperwork to probation. Mr. Holmes, you need to report to our probation department no later than 11:30 on Wednesday in person so that they can get you prepared for your pre-sentence investigation, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Not for the city, thank you.
Not for the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, you're all set.
Thank you.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, it takes time to get all that nollie versus
Oh, man.
dismissal on there. If it's on a citation, like let's say there was a motion to dismiss. If it's on a citation, I just write dismiss. If it's on a warrant or complaint, then I need a nollie.
Got it.
If it's a civil infraction and they don't appear, it's a default. So I just have to put default and then I have to put the fine on there.
Okay.
And then if it's otherwise, it'll be a warrant.
That makes sense.
Let me see. Okay, Randy Baldwin.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Baldwin, my understanding is that you applied for a public defender and your application was recently resubmitted to the public defender's office. They believe that they representing you. I'm sorry?
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yes, ma'am.
They plan to review that, but at this time, they have not appointed or officially appointed Mr. Lee to represent you. So I'm going to reset this so that you have the opportunity to have counsel with you, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
March 25th at 11.
March 25th at 11.
Okay, I'll get that paperwork in the mail, right? That way I won't forget.
I'm not sure, Mr. Lee, if he's appointed, that you all notify him by mail?
The paperwork for my court date. Yeah, they sent me an email and then, yeah, I had
You will
submitted it, but
Yep, you'll definitely get a notice to appear via mail to the address that we have on file.
okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Let me double check. What address do we have there? You're on Hazel Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's where your notice for March 25th at 11 will go to, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, you're all set. Are we ready on Mr. Bombries?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Gavin Bombries, file number 24-00172. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Gavin Bombries.
Mr. Bombries, long time no see. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Okay, so we are here on a trespassing. How are we proceeding on the trespassing?
Your Honor, Mr. Bombries denies the allegations and would like to set the matter for trial.
April 15th at 8:15.
April 15th at 8:15 in person at the court.
Yes, sir.
You have any questions today? Okay, and you have another matter tomorrow, is that accurate, Mr. Bombries?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're all set on that matter. We'll see you tomorrow on your state matter. Thank you. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Joshua Day, file number 21-02878, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Joshua Day.
Okay, Joshua Day, today was the date that we set this matter up for a pretrial on a no ops. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Mr. Day is prepared to enter a guilty plea on the no ops charge at this time.
Okay, that's correct, Mr. Day.
Yes, ma'am. I talked to
Raise your right
the
hand.
assistant-
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You say you spoke to whom?
I spoke to APD John Lee just a few minutes ago, and I told him I had 16 or 17 days served. It's actually 19.
Okay, very good. Okay, so again, today was the date set for a pretrial, and this particular matter, no ops, is a misdemeanor, maximum penalty 90 days in jail or up to $500 in fines. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the city prove your guilt at a jury trial, and they would have to prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the city intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to your trial to testify on your behalf, and you have the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the no ops charge being brought against you. And are you willing to give up each of those rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threaten you to give up those rights?
No, ma'am.
Anybody making any promises to you to get you to give up those rights?
No, ma'am.
As to the charge of no ops in possession, how do you plead?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
And that's because you believe you're guilty?
Absolutely.
Factual basis, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Day, on or about October 11th, 2021, were you driving upon Washington at or near Holmes Road?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and that's in the city of Lansing, county of Ingham, state of Michigan, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you were pulled over by a police officer at that time?
Yes, sir.
And you were asked to present your driver license, correct?
Correct.
And you did not have your driver license and were not able to present your driver license to the officer, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Vinker?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay, do you have a valid driver's license?
I'm able to get one, but I don't have it now. I'm
Okay,
able to get it. It's not suspended or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just asking because if you did have a valid license, then the fine is something different. That's the only reason I asked, but you do not have a valid license. Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea and find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. I see that we arraigned him on a bench warrant back on February 9th. He's been in custody since then.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, credit time served. You're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, and are we ready on Mr. Caswell?
If I could speak with them for just a couple minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, did we see Dennis Lee at all?
I have not seen him today, Your Honor.
I'll issue a bench warrant. I'll put Caswell, let me see if I can change this though, because why? It's taking so long to post me. I'll put Caswell in room 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. for whatever reason, it's taking forever to bring him back from the breakout room.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Caswell, can you hear us? Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Justin Caswell, file number 24-00243. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Lansing appears by Greg Venker.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Justin Caswell.
Okay, Mr. Caswell, I have one count of furnishing false information to an officer, no vehicle involved. How are we proceeding, counsel?
Your Honor, Mr. Caswell is prepared to plead guilty as charged today.
That's correct, Mr. Caswell?
Everyone.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury. There's no sound coming through. Can you say it again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Before you can plead guilty to furnishing false information, you have to understand these rights, and then you have to be willing to give each of those rights up. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to require the city prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt at a jury trial. You have the right to remain silent at that trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the city intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you understand each of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to give up those rights today?
Yes, I am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to give up those rights? Any promises being made to you in exchange for you giving up those rights?
Ma'am.
You said no?
Correct.
Okay. As to the furnishing false information, you recognize that if you enter a guilty plea, you may need to report this conviction to your current employer or to a future employer.
Yes, ma'am.
This kind of conviction could also have impact on where you can travel or visit outside of this country, and also where you can seek immigration status. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. As to the furnishing false information, do you plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And that's because you believe you're guilty?
Absolutely.
Factual basis, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Caswell, on or about January 29th, 2024, were you at a thrift store located at 5411 South Cedar Road?
Yes, sir.
And that's in the city of Lansing, county of Ingham, state of Michigan, correct?
Correct.
And at that time, you encountered a police officer conducting an investigation, correct?
Correct.
And the police officer asked you for your name. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you provided the officer with a false name, to wit, Jamie Allen Mainstone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions from you, Mr. Brinker?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis and I'll accept your plea and find it to be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made. I have here that he was arraigned by the magistrate back on January 30th, and a bond was set at 210%. So he's been in custody since the time of arraignment, is that correct?
My understanding, Your Honor, is that he has been in custody since at least February 2nd, approximately 24 days. But it could be a little bit longer.
Okay, is he in custody on something else?
He has, no, I think he only has the 2 open files, Your Honor. So your information is probably better than mine.
Okay, either way, credit time served, you're all set. Thank you, Mr. Coswell. Did you say something? Because we couldn't hear you.
I said, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let me see, is that everything in the morning? I think that's all I have for the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.